10 News is brought to you in high definition exclusively by Harper Auto Square. You are watching WBIR TV, Channel 10, Knoxville. The news starts now.
I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me.
Donald Trump's first words as president-elect of the United States, his path to victory coming up.
Plus, the local races that will impact you, including one that was too close to call.
Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us on a very busy post-election Wednesday. I'm Abby Ham.
And I'm Russell Biven. A lot to get to. We want to get right to that top story. Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States.
It was certainly a late night, but one by one, the swing states fell Trump's way. Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, they all went for Donald Trump.
All right, we want to go to NBC's Tracy Potts with the very latest. Good morning, Tracy.
Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Michigan, Arizona, states we were talking about late into the night and early this morning. But then when Donald Trump was able to flip a couple of those traditionally blue states red, the outcome became pretty clear. And now we wait to hear from Hillary Clinton. She's supposed to speak at sometime this morning. Sometime this morning she'll come out and speak about this Trump presidency.
Let me say, it is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump declared victory.
I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me.
Sources tell NBC Hillary Clinton called Trump to concede. Publicly, her campaign held out hope.
We can wait a little longer, can't we? They're still counting votes, and every vote should count.
At both headquarters, faces told the story. Cheers for Trump.
We're just excited about having a chance after 8 years of failed policies.
Tears for Clinton. They split battleground states, Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida for Trump, Nevada, Virginia, Colorado for Clinton. This morning's opening bell, uncertain. Dow futures sinking lower than 9/11 overnight. NASDAQ and S&P futures temporarily halted. Wall Street's nervous.
Now it becomes a guessing game as to how badly hit this market will be in the morning.
Exit polls tell an interesting story. The rural vote, white voters without college degrees largely underestimated as the vote count continues. And even though the vote count continues and the popular vote may change, those electoral votes are pretty much set for Donald Trump at this point. And we're getting a reaction pouring in internationally. The leaders of Russia and Great Britain congratulating Donald Trump, saying they want to work with him. They hope they can work cooperatively. But some other allies in Europe, not quite sure what a Trump presidency might mean for them. Live from New York, I'm Tracy Potts.
Tracy Potts, thanks for your live report. We certainly appreciate it. We'll check in with her throughout the morning.
All right, let's go outside to Matt Sanderson. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Today we are talking about cooler temperatures. This is a result of one cold front that'll move through, that is moving through right now, and a series of multiple cold fronts we have to talk about over the next week or so. Starting out by talking about rain showers pushing out of East Tennessee right now, mainly focused on the east side of 75 and out toward the Smoky Mountains and pushing to the southeast. 50s first thing out the door. We're going to stay in the 50s for a good bulk of the day. There will be the potential there for us to drop or actually top out in the low 60s in certain spots of the valley, but it's not going to be a widespread thing. Definitely colder by tomorrow morning. You will definitely know fall is certainly here, and then by this weekend even colder as temperatures bottom out near freezing. More on that coming up here in just a few moments. Abby and Russell.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Another race that is coming down to the wire is the race for the representative seat in the 13th district. That's between Republican Eddie Smith and Democrat Gloria Johnson.
10 News reporter Madison Wade is in our newsroom this morning with the very latest on this. Good morning, Madison.
Good morning, Abby and Russell. Well, before Eddie Smith tweeted this picture of him declaring a victory, he told us that he won the re-election during our live interview with him yesterday. But it's not official, not yet at least. This race is extremely close with more than than 22,000 total votes counted, Smith led 50.35% to Johnson's 49.65%, according to the Knox County Election Commission's returns. Well, last time the two ran against each other, Smith won by less than 200 votes. Absentee ballots and provisional ballots still need to be counted, but Eddie Smith has declared a victory.
We received word from the Election Commission that the absentee ballots were counted and came back and gave me a grand total of 11,160 to my opponent's 11,006. So we are ready to declare victory.
But Gloria Johnson, who attended the Democratic Watch Party last night, says every vote counts, especially in such a tight race like this one.
You know, there are a lot of ballots left to count. There's absentee ballots, there's provisional ballots. We're going to make sure every vote is counted and that everyone has an opportunity to cast their vote before we, make any sort of determination. We want to see every vote counted.
Well, Gloria Johnson isn't conceding to Eddie Smith. Earlier, she tweeted this morning that it looks like election officials went home, and we've heard that they may not know how many provisional ballots until Thursday. While Eddie Smith tweeted this picture and said, "Thank you for your votes, your prayers, and your support. I look forward to continuing effective conservative leadership for House District 13. Also, Knox County Mayor Tim Burchett also congratulated Eddie Smith on his victory by saying, "Congratulations, Eddie," and retweeting the picture that Eddie also tweeted. Well, Abby and Russell, as this close race for sure is up in the air, we will update you once we know anything about the official result.
All right, Madison, thank you.
Well, we are following many results this morning. Democrat Rick Staples will take over the State House District 15 seat. He was up against independent Pete Drew and won with 65% of the vote. Staples replaced former Representative Joe Armstrong on the ballot. Armstrong retired after a federal jury convicted him of filing a false tax return back in August.
Representative-elect Staples says he is ready to jump in and get right to work.
So what I have to do is restore confidence and stability in District 15, and I don't take that task lightly, so that's something I have to do first thing when I get up in the morning is get straight to work.
The other Tennessee House seat up for grabs, District 18, which represents parts of Knox County. The winner, incumbent Republican Martin Daniel, won by about 5,000 votes, so a close one there too.
Yeah, Daniel currently faces an assault charge. He's accused of attacking his Republican primary challenger during a live radio interview back in July.
It is 6:07 now. We're covering history in the making here on 10 News Today.
For those who have chosen not to support me in the past, of which there were a few people, I'm reaching out to you for your guidance and your help so that we can work together and unify our great country.
Donald Trump, the next president of the United States, the states that helped push him to victory.
All right, plus stock markets react, the drop we've already seen in the global economy, and what experts predict for the rest of this Wednesday.
Welcome back. 6:10 is the time on this Wednesday morning. We start off by talking about 50s back at the forecast, mid-40s up toward London, Kentucky. We're going to see more of those 40s, even 30s tonight, pushing into tomorrow morning. And then by Sunday morning, low 30s, rain showers pushing out of East Tennessee, just like the cloud cover. Mid to upper 50s for a good bulk of the area today. Those are similar to the temperatures we're seeing now. Low 60s in isolated spots of the valley. Warmer tomorrow and Friday, but not by much. We talk more about the forecast and our next chance of rain, all coming up in just a few. Right now, Ed representing with a check of the morning commute. Happy hump day, Ed.
Hey, happy hump day, Matt. Happy hump day, everybody. Off to a great start. Interstate traffic rolling right along. You got to hit that in the next few minutes. You'll be fine. T-Dot Smartway look at traffic right around Western Avenue this morning there on Interstate 40. Up on 75, we're still in good shape. Very quiet there around Merchants. And no wrecks blocking anything. We'll keep you updated in the 10 News Traffic Center. Guys?
Well, still developing this morning, Donald Trump will be our next president. President-elect Trump got 278 electoral votes in a stunning upset, going against what many of the polls predicted.
Yeah, he spoke about uniting the country during his victory speech around 3 o'clock this morning.
Ours was not a campaign, but rather an incredible and great movement made up of millions of hardworking men and women who love their country and want a better, brighter future for themselves and for their family. It's a movement.
We will hear more from that speech in just a few minutes. Hillary Clinton has not yet addressed the public about Trump's victory.
She is expected to do so later this morning. All right, it is 6:12 on this hump day. Still to come on 10 News today, the future of Congress, the big victories for the GOP after Election Day.
Plus, it is Overwhelmed Week. Appropriate, right? We're shining a light on the sandwich generation, as it's called, the reason this group might be a little bit stressed, and the ways to combat that stress coming up.
We're going to get to work immediately for the American people. And we're going to be doing a job that hopefully you'll be so proud of your president. You'll be so proud. Again, it's my honor. It was an amazing evening. It's been an amazing 2-year period. And I love this country. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, if you're just waking up, you might be surprised to learn Donald Trump is the president-elect of the United States, which went against many of the polls. They gave him little chance of victory since announcing his candidacy in June of 2015.
As voting started yesterday, Clinton was still projected to win, but some key states went his way: Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and then Wisconsin. And President-elect Trump was able to celebrate his future as the nation's 45th president at his New York headquarters around 3 o'clock this morning.
Global markets are falling as traders react to Donald Trump's victory. The drop started yesterday when Trump started pulling ahead in the polls.
Yeah, the Dow Jones futures dropped by over 750 points late last night as Donald Trump pulled ahead in that race.
Trading in Asia already underway this morning. Markets in Japan are down about 2% compared to yesterday. Experts predict the drop could be bigger than the Brexit plunge that rocked financial markets in June. Trading will begin again this morning. Markets open at 9:30. Republicans will stay in control of the House of Representatives.
The GOP has been in control of the House for the last 6 years, and Speaker of the House Paul Ryan was elected to his 10th term in the state of Wisconsin.
Republicans now control 247 seats in the House. This election means they've lost some of those seats, but they're still in control of the chamber. They've won at least 231 seats, and it takes 218 to get a majority. Republicans will also win the Senate. They won 5 of 8 crucial races that determined their victory. With Donald Trump's win, that means the GOP now has control of both the executive and the legislative branches.
And it was a great night for Republican incumbents here in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, the Republicans remain in control of the U.S. House, in part thanks to these candidates keeping their seats. Let's take a look on that list. Republican Jimmy Duncan to start. He easily beat his Democratic opponent in House District 2. You can see he won with 76% of the vote. Duncan, by the way, was first elected to office in 1988.
All right, and in the U.S. House District 3 race, Republican Chuck Fleischman keeps his seat, winning by about 100,000 votes. District 3 covers southeast Tennessee and parts of Oak Ridge.
And turning to northeast Tennessee, Republican Phil Rowe also kept his seat in the U.S. House. He won by a huge margin with 78% of the vote. Rowe is promised to only serve 12 years. He's 8 years in.
All right, some of the other issues. Voters in 10 East Tennessee counties weighed in on expanded liquor sales.
Yeah, in some counties that means voting to approve wine sales in grocery stores, and others liquor by the drink. In Jefferson County, 57% voted to pass package sales or liquor by the drink there. Here's a look at how the rest of the alcohol referendum results are looking. Taking a look at the town of Dandridge, 79% voted in favor of selling wine at retail food stores. And now to Jefferson City, 73% voted to sell wine in grocery stores, so that passed as well.
All right, we turn now to Harriman, where voters rejected a sales tax increase to pay for road repairs in the city. That referendum would have increased the tax from the current 9.5% to 9.75%. Again, that failed, or was voted against.
Yes. In your other top stories today, firefighters working to contain dozens of fires across East Tennessee. State officials say they responded to 21 new fires just on Monday.
Yeah, in total, fires have burned more than 4,000 acres. That's according to the Tennessee Department of Agriculture's Division of Forestry.
And because of those fires, there's been some air quality issues over the last few days. Yesterday's code red air alert has expired, though. That's the good news. Health officials say the lingering smoke can bother both healthy people and, of course, those with health issues.
Folks who have asthma or have a lung or heart disease, they're going to notice a little more trouble breathing. But even healthy people are going to notice that they might cough more, sneeze more, your eyes might get irritated.
To minimize the risk, the Knox County Health Department advises folks to exercise indoors, and while you're driving, close the windows, recirculate the air in the car, and that will help too.
All right, well, this morning, firefighters who were trapped by fire on a mountain in Hawkins County, thankfully, are safe.
Yeah, just after 9 last night, some firefighters working to put out a fire on Bays Mountain put out a Mayday call. According to the Hawkins County EMA director, a state firefighter was also injured fighting the fire and was taken to the hospital in Kingsport. We are told the fire is currently 30 acres in size and has not yet been contained.
All right, we want to head over to Matt Sanderson and get a check of the forecast. It's 6:19. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. This morning starting off with some smoke still in the air. The good news here is a lot of that smoke will be kind of moving out of East Tennessee as the day progresses. The bad news is we didn't see enough rainfall to really put a big impact in some of the wildfires around the area. And so those will likely continue, which means a touch of smoke around the area on and off for the rest of the day. 57 degrees right now, dew points in the mid 40s, north winds at 3 miles per hour. And that north wind is what's helping to remove that smoke and push it out of the valley and down toward Georgia and areas of Alabama. That leaves us now in the mid 40s in Jamestown on Fitchers County, and a few mid 40s toward Morristown, and some spots toward Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Greenville, mid 50s in the valley. We're seeing cloud cover push out. We're seeing rainfall chances push out. Right now those chances are out toward Gatlinburg, all the way out toward areas of Greene County and pushing out to the southeast out toward Asheville. Beyond that rain, cloud cover pushing out and the smoke pushing out slowly as the day progresses for the most part again. And we're back to sunshine this afternoon. And sunshine will be locked in for the next few days. Those clear skies will stay with us through Friday before a frontal boundary. Another cold front pushes toward East Tennessee, providing another shot of cold air that will reinforce the cool air that's already in place. And the cool air, by the way, that we're seeing today and we're going to see tonight will be cool enough to give us patchy frost up towards southeast Kentucky. So between 3 a.m. and 9 a.m., that's when we're going to see a frost advisory up that way. The valley is probably safe overnight tonight heading into tomorrow morning for most locations with low temperatures expected in the mid 30s. But colder nights are ahead of us, especially by Sunday morning. So mid 50s to upper 50s this afternoon with a few low 60s sprinkled in. It all is dependent on how fast we get rid of this cloud cover and get back to more sunshine. Mid 30s by tonight, and then we see an opportunity for us to see a few low 30s out toward Jamestown. Monticello just below freezing. Near freezing out toward areas of Middlesboro, Harlan, London, Kentucky, and those colder temperatures are there for everybody by Sunday of this weekend. 33 degrees, that's what we're shooting for at McGee-Tyson Airport Sunday morning first thing out the door. So you know there are going to be spots likely in the upper 20s to get things kicked off on your Sunday. But overall, we look at a warming trend by Tuesday of next week. What's new with that? 68 degrees by Tuesday afternoon. Veterans Day looks to be beautiful, sunny, dry, with a cold front pushing in Friday night into Saturday morning. More of the forecast coming up here in a bit. Right now, Ed Rep is in with a check of the morning commute. Good morning, Ed.
Hey, Matt. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Doing just fine so far. Pretty quiet. Nothing to show you a whole lot. Interstate traffic looks fine. No wrecks blocking anything up to this point. As Matt mentioned, still dealing with some of that smoke and haze around with us. We'll keep you updated in the 10 News Traffic Center. Guys?
Thank you very much, Ed.
It is overwhelmed week here on WBIR.
And this morning we're talking about the sandwich generation, as it's called.
Yes, WBIR 10 News reporter Brandon Bates explains why these folks might be a little stressed. And Brandon, what can people in their 40s and 50s do if they're getting a little overwhelmed? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I can let you know. Half of people in that age group are often not only taking care of their kids, but their aging parents as well, kind of in the middle of that sandwich. Now, this is all according to the Pew Research Center. As you can imagine, this can overwhelm probably anybody. But according to the experts, this extra stress in your life could be avoided or at least managed. The main thing you need to do is plan. Financial planning is huge. Planning for things like food, housing, transportation, and medical treatment. And you have to remember, Medicare might not cover it all. And then there are nonprofits like Meals on Wheels and state agencies that can kind of help fill in the gaps, give you a little bit of relief there. And coming up over on Fox 43 News this morning, if you've been overwhelmed leading up to this presidential election, it is finally over. We're live with a lot of local reaction coming up on Fox that starts at 7 o'clock. Guys.
Why, thank you, Brandon. We appreciate it. Time now 6:23. We're covering an election for the history books this morning.
Working together, we will begin the urgent task of rebuilding our nation and renewing the American dream. I've spent my entire life...
Donald Trump's supporters rejoice in his underdog victory, his surprising journey to the White House, plus the local races that will impact people right here in East Tennessee after the Heartland Series.